Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Stasiaa, and today we're going to be discussing 5 tips on how to become our best selves, okay? The greatest version of ourselves, all 2023 and the future years to come. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it. This video will not be long or drawn out. So the first tip I have is put yourself first. Now, granted, I understand a lot of us have children, some of us are married, you have jobs, school, yada, 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 the whole nine. So it is kind of hard to put yourself first when you are surrounded by all of those things. I get that. But what I'm talking about is our goals here. Like, your goals are important. They should be important to you, more important to you than the goals of other people, more important to you than the limitations people place onto you. So this year we're not doing that, okay? We're placing ourselves first, and if we have to put some things on hold because it does not align properly, with our goals, then that's just what we have to do. You cannot become the best version of yourself if you're constantly putting other people and their goals above you and yours. Like, it just honestly doesn't make sense. And honestly, for me, when I used to do stuff like that, I would feel so depressed. So that's what I mean by, like, putting yourself and your goals first. It's okay to be there for other people and help them accomplish their goals. It's nothing wrong with that at all. But if me helping you is interfering with me getting my stuff done, I'm not doing it, okay? Ain't no more depression over here. I'm not about to sit up here and be placing you and what you have going on above me and what I need to be doing. No, absolutely not. We're not doing that no more at all. Now that brings us to tip number 2, which is take time for self. Now this to me is honestly like one of the most important tips. Have all of these things that require a huge amount of our attention and energy. When do you have time for you? A lot of people do not have that. I was once that person. I used to work 2 jobs, 80 hours a week. And then, of course, I would try to be there for my family, do things with them, and yada, yada, yada. And it was just like, whoa. Like, when do I have time for me? So that's one thing. I was about to say this year. That's one thing last year I worked so hard on, was making time for me. And I honestly am addicted to it now. Like, I do not go a day without making time for me because I feel like it's very vital. You got to make time for you, whether it's taking an hour just to read a book, clearing your mind, reading a book, going on a walk alone, of course in a safe environment, taking yourself out on dates to your favorite restaurants, to a movie by yourself. Like, it's important to put that time into you. Taking a bath, like a bath, however long, 30 minutes to 45 hour, whatever, however much time you want to sit in there and soak, honey, until your skin gets wrinkled. That is up to you, okay? Sorry, y'all, my voice is kind of like going in and out. But anyway, yeah, like taking a bath instead of taking a shower. Small things like that. It may seem very small, but it's like, believe me when I say your mental health will thank you for it. Your body will thank you for it. And the people around you will be happy because, again, I'm going to speak for myself. I can be very moody when I don't make time for myself. Like, if I don't simply take time for myself to recharge, I can be very moody, very itchy, and I do not like being bothered. But when I make time for myself, when I do some of those things that I mentioned, it's like I give myself time to recharge and I'm able to pour into others. Like the saying goes, you cannot pour from an empty cup, right? So if you're not giving yourself time to recharge and pour that energy back into you, how do you expect to continuously pour it into other people? Tip number 3 is journaling. Take time to journal, okay? Journaling has been one of the best things I could have done for myself in the year 2022. Like, I made it a thing to journal every night. Now, it was some nights I just was tired, didn't feel like it, or whatever the case may be. So I slipped up quite a few times last year, but I'm not going to do that this year, okay? It is very important for you to journal. If you are the type of person that likes to journal, then that's great because you already know what I mean. But if you've never journaled before in your life, this year you may want to start. I love to go back and I read them. Like, not that often, but I do like to take time to go back and read them just so I can see where I was last week or last month. And it also helps with maintaining healthy emotions, like helping you be able to control your emotions. And then plus is motivation for how I'm feeling now, because you look back and you'll see like, dang, I was feeling depressed, or I was going through this or going through that, and Excuse me, y'all. And now I'm just in the, look at where I am now. Like, I love to keep all my journals. I do not throw them away. I have writings from like, I think I read some the other day from like 2019, and it was like they just made me so emotional. Like, just placing myself back in that time and just knowing where I am now is just like such a beautiful thing. So I highly recommend everyone to get them a journal for this year. Okay, y'all. So tip number 4 is setting quarterly goals instead of yearly goals. My therapist actually suggested this to me, and when I tell y'all, it makes a world of a difference, because think about it this way. When you have like this really long list of goals or whatever the case may be, even if it's 8 things you want to accomplish this year, and like some of them may look extremely hard, when you look at it, like when you just look at the list from beginning to end, it can be very intimidating sometimes, which will, I apologize again, which is sometimes demotivating. Like, it's just like, oh my God, I gotta do all of this. Like, you know, so you quit before you even get started. And that's why a lot of times people who set those New Year's resolutions and all of this stuff, more than likely you ain't gonna finish them, okay? That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But setting quarterly goals can be very beneficial. Like, think of it this way, right? If you have a 100-word puzzle, that can be very stressful, aggravating, and intimidating. But let's say if they broke those up into increments of 25. So now you have 4 different puzzles, right? Looking at that little 25-word puzzle compared to that 100-word puzzle can make a world of a difference. It's like you'll look at that 25 and be like, okay, I can do this. Like, I can handle this, because that's all you're focusing on at that moment. Even though you know you still have those 75 more to go, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I'm not worried about that right now. That does not matter right now. I just got to make it through these 25 and then I'm good. And honestly, when you have them shortened out like that, it motivates you to get them done. You can, like I said, you can be more focused on those for that quarter right there. And it's just like, more than likely, you will accomplish all of them. You will successfully and effectively accomplish each and every one of them. And you may even finish before the quarter is over. And that gives you more time to plan and prep for the next season to come. So basically what you're doing, in a sense, is tricking your brain. It's like you're tricking your brain to just focus on those few things right there. So it makes you, for some reason, it just makes you feel like it's that much easier to obtain, opposed to when you just have it all thrown in your face like that. Bottom line, too much of anything in a short period of time can be more harmful for you than it can be helpful. So even though setting goals is a great thing, we need to be mindful about the goals we set and how we set them. You don't want to put too much on yourself at one time, because it's just unhealthy. That's my opinion, though. Whatever works for you. If it's been working for you to set a list of 10 goals a year and you've been crushing them each and every year, don't listen to me. Keep doing what's best for you. I'm just more so talking to the people who is like, you kind of struggle in that area with feeling like you ain't getting nowhere. Maybe trying it, that way, breaking them up into quarterly goals can help you obtain that much quicker, and you'll feel a lot more confident about them. Now, that brings us into the last tip, number 5, which is giving yourself grace, because it's not a race. Becoming the best version of yourself will not happen overnight, because it's obvious that you did not become how you are today overnight. Neither did I. Like, I did not become this person overnight. It took years in the making. So more than likely, it's going to take a bit of time to unbecome that person and to become the best version of yourself. And the reason why it's so important for us to give ourselves grace is because it is very normal and okay to stumble and fail sometimes in life. Once we accept the fact that we are not perfect and allow ourselves room for failure, then those tough moments won't even have such a negative impact on us. Like, they will not even affect us as much anymore. Like, I know when I try something now and let's say I don't succeed at it the first time, the way I handle it now, y'all, is just like completely different from how I used to handle it before, because now I give myself grace. It's like, it's okay, Stasiaa. You're not perfect. You're not going to get it right each and every time. It's okay. And giving yourself grace just allows you to just get back up much faster. Dust yourself off and just try it again, right? It's just that simple. But when you are not gracious with yourself, you become angry, you become bitter, you can become jealous or envious of the ones around you who seem like they're succeeding in whatever it is that they set themselves out to do. And it's just, when you aren't gracious with yourself, you're hindering yourself, honestly, because you're focusing so much on accomplishing that or achieving that you're not even focusing on the journey itself. Like, you're just worried about winning, okay? You're just worried about getting it done. And don't get me wrong, yes, it's important. You want to get it for a reason, right? I understand that. But it's not that deep. Like, you're going to get it. Give yourself grace and you will get there. Also, the next time you, like, say for example, you fail at something, or I'll just use myself for example. If I try something and I fail this time, again, I'm giving myself grace and I know that that's okay. Maybe next time when I try, I might need to switch it up a little bit and do things differently. The average successful person has failed way more times than they've actually succeeded at doing it, or at anything, period. And I hear a lot of successful people, like highly successful people, say that. Like, it's not even about succeeding to them. Well, it is about succeeding, but it's like they failed so many times that you would not believe it. But the thing is, they never gave up. Okay, they don't care how many times they had to switch up the formula, switch up the recipe. They kept on doing it until they got it. So like I said, sometimes you may have to try a different way, and that's okay too. So you have to be gracious and open-minded with yourself and with your journey, and that's how you will flourish. And lastly, again, if you try something multiple times and it's still not working, maybe God is saying to you, it's not your time. Try another way, or I have something so much better in store for you. It's one of those three things, okay? I mean, it could be other things too, but I just like to narrow it down to those three things right there. It's not my time. He has something way better in store for me, or try it another way, Stasiaa. So yeah, that concludes this video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my 5 tips on becoming the best version of yourself for 2023. And next video, I think, well, I'll share it with y'all. The next video, we are going to be talking about being able to accept what God has for you, like even if it's not what you want for yourself. And that kind of ties into this whole thing we got going on right now, with people setting all of these New Year's resolutions and these goals for themselves. Honey, if it's not aligned with what God has for you, you may want to rethink them. So yeah, with that being said, I love you guys so much. Happy New Year again. I pray that you all had a safe New Year. And I just wish you all the best. I love y'all.